inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher, unlock the fire in you, 'cause real women don't bitch, no, real women don't, 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 real women don't bitch.
Hey, thank you for joining me on the Real Women Don't Bitch podcast. This is your proud host, August Crenshaw, aka Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. I am the #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs because mental muscle is necessary for implementing successful business strategies. It's time to learn how to beat your business no matter what life throws at you. I have made it my personal mission to provide a space where we discuss the BS we face on a day-to-day basis. What up, queens and the kings that happen to pop up in here? Listen, it has been a minute since I have done a podcast episode where I have basically been in rant mode. And this is probably going to be one of those episodes, so there's a lot of nuggets, a lot for you all to learn. And I just, pray that you still love me after you hear this. I am just sick and tired of dealing with women and this whole thing about proper presentation. Queens, I'm not going to say that, men never do this, but it seems more prominent with us. And when, men will be like, hey, dude, man, like I fucked up. That's just what it is. Women will be like, well, but this happened and that happened. Like taking ownership for your shit. It's very difficult to get you all to do that. And so it's funny to me that a lot of you want your coaches to be calm, cool, collected, and poised, but you don't realize your communication or the lack thereof, your emotional bullshit and its extremities. You don't pay attention to the fact how you communicate what you feel is safe, not what's actually true. And so then when people respond to what you communicated, you be like, why are they attacking me? And not realizing that if you just would have been frank from the beginning, things would have been so much easier to deal with. And so what I recognize as a coach is that you guys like to look like you got your shit together, and you got to stop it because it's detrimental to your body, your business, your life, your even your communities. And so I'm going to give you a couple of examples and let's just talk about this. So I remember having a client and I was like, yeah, how are things going with your business? We having our session. It's a new month. It has passed. We're actually at the end of the quarter for the year. And she's like, oh, everything's going good. Everything's going good. I'm like, okay, well, great. So what happened? Has your clientele increased? Well, no, I didn't get any new clients. You maintain the ones you had. You lose any? Well, there are a couple that didn't keep their appointments and canceled. Whatever, all these questions I'm answering, whatever came out of her mouth, she started saying, well, I'm not generating the kind of revenue that I want to for this month. But then, of course, that December is always slow and so on and so forth. Okay, but last month when I asked you how you felt about holiday sales, you came in, you said you were good, you had your strategy, you had it down packed, you knew what you were going to do. When I asked you how things are going with your business, you told me everything is okay, but everything is not okay. And I remember it being at the beginning of December, and I'm like, look, let's just make some tweaks, make some changes. Gave her a few ideas, and she actually ended up making more money that December than she had the year prior. And because of a strategy that we use, she set herself up to have reoccurring income in January. And mind you, this was a woman that had a brick and mortar business. But if I, as a coach, only just said, hey, how's business going? And she said, great, then she would have slept on through the cracks. And that's a lot of you. And you don't have coaches like me who will be like, hey, well, what does that mean? So are you saying, people say, yeah, I closed some sales. Okay, so how much cash did you collect? I'm that coach. I'm that coach that will ask that question because I watch people say, yeah, I closed a $7,500 client and I had them do a $500 deposit. And then I put them on a payment plan for $500 for, God knows how long, for the next 14 months. I had to learn this though, you guys. And I remember that, and there was a client that actually did that. I was so stoked that she closed a $7,500 sale. And when I found out the payment plan she set up, I was like, oh my God. So that's how she did it. That presentation shit. Another example, have a mastermind. You know, the way that I set up my coaching programs, it really truly is a community-based spirit. And if you come in there with a problem, baby, all of the queens are coming out the woodworks, you know, to help you out. And it seems like there's just something phenomenal about the timing. When there's like an emotional issue, it's almost like their spidey senses are tingling. And so there's this one woman, she had a problem where a best friend wanted her services and she was thinking about discounting it, all this other shit. But she also potentially was going to be a headache client. When I tell you, the tribe came on her live videos and were asking her a bunch of questions and was like, she's not your ideal client. That's going to be headache money. Say this, do this, don't do this, so on and so forth. I was like, hell, y'all done held it down. I don't really even have to say anything, but I did. And so the bottom line is at the end of the day, we talked about why we don't give our friends and family discounts, because we're not going to ask them to pay our fucking bills. And we had a nice lengthy dialogue about it. Weeks passed and she's like, put in a copy of their conversation in the DM in the group, like, what should I do? Because the person was then like, oh, that's a lot of money. Do you have a money back guarantee, and so on and so forth? And she's like, what should I do and how should I respond? And we're like, why did you even fucking make her an offer? Now, me and the kind of coach that I am, I'm like, listen, we're not going to waste the tribe's time. You were instructed based on what you said. When we identified from your mouth that she wasn't an ideal client, you weren't even supposed to be doing business with her. So why didn't you lead with, here we go, with the leading with your shit. Why didn't you come into the group and lead with, hey, I got a dilemma. Friends reached out to me again and I heard what you guys said, but I've got some fear of rejection, whatever the hell it is. I fear of speaking my mind, losing a friend, whatever. And I'm not sure how to turn her down politely or what to do. What most of us do is we hear all of the advice that's given to us. We go out there in these streets and we still do what the fuck we're gonna do because it's comfortable for us to do it. And we dig ourselves in a deeper ditch. And then we want more people to have to bend down and to pick us up. And I'm saying that it's time out for that. Lead with your shit. Stop trying to make it look like everything is okay, because it's not. You know, it's funny that all of this is happening because an old post popped up in my memory on the same day I'm recording this episode. And it says it's a bitter pill to swallow, but you must take ownership for everything in your life. You own the wins, you own the accomplishments, you own the good times. You were, oh, look at me and what I did. But guess what? You have to own the bad shit too. Own the mistakes, every bad relationship, every wrong turn, the failures, the bad judgments, the bad investments. Own it all. This is when you break free and move forward, because as long as you can blame someone else or something else, you deny the power you have within. You can fix a mistake. You can choose to be connected with better people. You can go back and turn the other direction. You can learn from your failures. You can gain better judgment. You can make wiser investments. But what you cannot do is move forward when everything and everyone else is responsible for your circumstances. And ultimately, that's what you all are trying to protect. Protect yourself from owning up to the fact like, oh, I didn't take the wise counsel that was given to me. Oh, I actually didn't follow the posting strategy and I half-assed it. Oh, I haven't been studying how to sell better and actually taking the time to re-listen to my sales calls and go back and look at the training that my coach gave me and practice the sales call over and over and over again in my head until I memorized the dialogue. Everything is not everybody else's fault. You're not a victim of circumstance. Your life and what you created right now, that's on you. And so when you guys come to your coaches and don't tell us the whole story, like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? You know, I've had a client before that didn't even make any money in her business for real until she started working with me. She was still basically somewhat low ticket. And as much as I would like to push people into a higher price point, I don't want to push you into a higher price point that you don't believe that you can sell, because I would prefer for you to be at the price point that you would at least sell and then learn the lesson from serving at that low price point, because that often gives you the motivation to raise it. And then after she did that, she made more money in 6 months than she made in the entire year, the year before. And she's like, oh my God, and look at this, and always talking all these positive things about her, money mindset and all of that. And then all of a sudden she's reaching out and she's like, oh my God, I got a financial dilemma. And I find out she's got a crazy ass spending habit. Why is that a problem for me? Because I talk a lot about fucking money mindset. Not just mindset in particular, but we get into money mindset, we get into spiritual mindset, the whole fucking nine. And so, I even see it in the masterminds that I'm in. Oh yeah, we're spending X amount of money on our ads, coach. And coach is like, okay, great. How much is it costing you per lead? It's this much, blah, 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 blah. How much you want to make? Yeah. What's your closing rate? All you want to do is say the closing rate, and you don't want to say, oh, by the way, that package that I told you I was going to sell for $20,000, I'm only selling it for $7,500. We don't necessarily remember all the details. And so your conversion rate and the price point and the deposit that you collect, you could still be running at a deficit with the ads that you're running and not really making the money. And so the more that you're investing, the bigger hole you're digging yourself in. And now you're trying to figure out how the fuck you pay your light bill. And here you are in a motherfucking mastermind where you're supposed to be aspiring to make 7 figures. All because you don't want to say, okay, listen, coach, I know you told me to do X, Y, and Z, but here's why I can't do it. And I know, look, I don't like the word can't, but I'm just literally keeping it that simple. So here's the dilemma that I have, and this is my workaround for it. You're saying invest X amount of dollars. You're saying have these conversations, and I'm taking ownership for my shit. I can't do it because I'm wrestling with the fear of rejection. I can't do it because I've made a decision to spend my money in this place and the money's not in my budget to do whoop, whoop, and whoop. You can use the word can't with me when everything that follows after the can't has to do with how you set the shit up for you to be in your circumstance, or when you want to go ahead and be honest about the shit that you don't want to deal with. I recently had a conversation with one of my coaches, and he was like, hey, what's up? Why you didn't talk to me sooner? And like, what did I do? And I told him, I said, hey, I ain't gonna even lie to you. Like, this was something that I got to take responsibility for. I could have been and said something to you or something to somebody, on the team, period. But a bad tape was rewinding in my mind, about men and leadership and the way that I've been shunned by them and not fully, respected. So no, you didn't do anything wrong. I had to own my shit in the conversation. You guys, I practice what I preach. Yes, I'm not perfect. Sometimes there's a delay, but when I realize that I'm not doing what I teach others to do because I sit in a place of radical introspection, then I find myself having to live out what it is that I tell other people to do. And a lot of you talk about mindset, and you even have mindset components in your coaching program, and your life is looking like shit because you don't even do what you're teaching other people to do. Go through your own fucking modules. Like, can we stop playing? Can we stop playing? Be vulnerable. Tell the truth. I remember I had a client that was like, oh, my launch didn't go the way I wanted it to go. And she's like, I think I need to just revamp everything. No, you need to stick to what you've created. But then I was like, hey, we were on a Zoom call. I was like, okay, let me share a screen. Went to her page. I was like, I don't even know what the fuck you do. The reason why I know is because I'm your coach. But I'm like, yep. So I see a post about, the restaurant that you ate at. I see a post about the shirt you like. I see a silly post about your kids. Oh, there's a post about a TV show. Oh, there's a post about your event. Oh, here's another post about a TV show. Oh, you and this person were going back all day. You got about 26 comments on this post. Oh, you haven't posted in a couple of days. Oh, now there's another post about. So wait a minute. You don't want to pay for ads and your organic muscle is shitty. But you're talking with this level of entitlement mentality like, oh my God, nobody signed up for my program. No, lead with your shit. Hey, coach, I say, how's it going? What's going on? How was that launch? Well, I'm being honest with you. The numbers were low. And I know one of the primary reasons is because I didn't show the fuck up. Don't say, well, you know how it is. People ain't willing to invest in themselves. It takes 7 to 12 touches. That's proper fucking presentation. Fucking quit it, ladies. Stop. What's the name of this podcast? Real Women Don't Bitch. We get shit done. And bitching is just another form for whining, complaining. I told you all, let me remind you, when I was a young girl, people used to say to the older women, like my grandma, hey, how you doing? She say, blessed. I can't complain, because complaining don't change anything. So complaining, that equals victim mentality. You can't blame it on racism. You can't blame it on sexism. You can't blame it on the algorithm. You can't blame it on his, her, them. Yeah, I said them. I'm going there. The only thing you can do is blame it on yourself. This is why working with a coach who specializes in mindset is important, because we're not just going to let you come in and celebrate the wins and post the shit and properly position yourself. We are going to require you to make sure that you're growing. And I'm going to be honest, a lot of these coaches, they don't really help you with your mindset the way that they're supposed to, because they want you to forever need them. I come to my clients the way that I do because if I force them to strategically think, then they understand how to think when I'm not around. Because God forbid, for whatever reason, I change careers, I leave the face of this earth while they're in the interim of finding other leadership or whatever the hell is going on. Guess what? They will understand how to be solution oriented. Critical thinking skills has become a lost art. And for those that do have it, having critical thinking skills as an entrepreneur is some shit on a whole another level. So thank you all for listening to the podcast. I hope you got some blessings from the rant. I hope if you've been tripping, you feel fucking convicted. And if you need some help, I also hope you click that link and go to workwithaugust.com, because you're not getting paid the premiums you deserve. You're not making the money in your business that you desire, and you're about to burn your ass out because you got leading with your shit. You're not being accountable so that you can finally walk up in your power, your authority, and your authenticity. But if you're ready to change that shit, then you come holler at your girl. I got you, all right? I love y'all. I'm outie. Deuces. Thank you for joining me today. Remember to cultivate a mindset that is biased towards taking action. No bitching, whining, or complaining. Here, our mantra is, real women don't bitch, we get shit done. See you next week as I continue to bring you what you need to keep your head in the game and beast your business. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Would you like a specific topic covered? Have a question you would like answered live? Then head on over to realwomendon'tbitchpodcast.com. Subscribe to my email list, hit me up, and I got you. Interested in being a guest speaker? You walk the walk? Then you can sign up on the website too. This is your #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs, Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless, signing out. Deuces!
Inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar.